This is the Herald Brat 250X, and in this video I'm going to tell you whether this bike is worth upgrading from your 125. Now firstly, I want to talk about the engine on this bike. It's okay. It does seem like a very old designed engine. It has a manual choke, which is unheard of on new bikes, and I must say I'm not really a big fan of that. I think new bikes should have an automatic choke, so you have to sit there for a couple of minutes on your drive trying to get the choke right, with it conking out 10 times before you get going, which is a bit of a pain, but it is still a very nice bike. The engine, it's not much more powerful than the 125. It definitely does have more power, and that exhaust note does sound fantastic. So I'll go into that exhaust next. So to be a bit more precise, the engine is a 223cc single cylinder 4-stroke, so it's not much bigger than a 125 obviously, and the power figures stated by Herald are 9.9 brake horsepower, which is obviously wrong because that is less than the 125 model. So I'm waiting for them to send me the specs, so once I have those I'll lay in what power it actually has over the top, but it doesn't feel that much more powerful than a 125. It obviously is. It's good for about 70 miles an hour really pinning it, but is it worth upgrading a 125 for this? I'm not sure if it's got quite enough oomph to justify it, but maybe if you didn't have a 125 in the first place, this would definitely be a good place to start. And as I was saying, that exhaust sounds fantastic and it looks really, really good. It looks like a custom exhaust. I can't believe it's come from factory. And obviously I suppose because Herald make smaller numbers of bikes compared to big brands like Harleys and Triumphs and that kind of thing, they can then boycott the regulations a little bit and make a louder exhaust, similar to like with cars. Lamborghinis are much more loud because they make a much smaller number of cars so they can get away with it, and this makes loads and loads of crackles and pops on the off-run, so you find yourself shutting off all the time just to hear those pops and bangs, so it makes you feel like a little bit of a young hooligan, which is quite fun. So if you do like loud exhaust, this has definitely got one. Looks-wise, this bike looks absolutely awesome. It is a very cool looking bike. It's got a nice shaped fuel tank. It's got these very nice looking forks, awesome sort of aluminium style mud guards which look really nice. You've got these motocross style handlebars which look really cool. Nice grips on there, they're nice and grippy. And you've also got this nice step up seat which is perfectly comfortable enough. Got some grab rails on the back, so if you need to hold on for your life on the back, you can do that, and you have got rear pegs as standard, and you've got these nice small looking indicators which look nice and sleek, and the exhaust, as I said before, looks absolutely fantastic. Looks like a custom exhaust, so I do really like the look of that. That's my favourite part of this bike. You've got a single disc brake on the front and the rear. The stopping power is perfectly good enough. It is actually pretty good. The suspension's very good, soaks up the bumps nicely. So you can have a little bit of fun on this bike, maybe going down some green lanes, light off-roading it'd be good in. I've taken it on some wet grass and it span up and did a bit of sideways action, which was quite fun. So you definitely have some fun on this bike. The Herald Brat 250X costs £3,695 in the UK, so it is pretty cheap. So you can't complain too much at that price point. It's got upside down forks, it's got these rental fat bars which look really cool, as I said before, monoshock rear suspension. It is a bit underpowered, that's my only thing with it, but yeah, what a cool bike for the price. This bike is of course A2 compatible by a long shot. It's well under the restriction of 47 horsepower, so you can ride it on your A2 licence. And I think the A2 licence in a way has kind of killed the 250 scene because they're in between the 125 point and then the A2 licence bike. So to do your A2 licence, you have to do it on a 600cc or above bike, or 400 or something. And it kind of think, well, once you've ridden something that powerful, why would you want to go out and then buy something with half the power? Because you're already used to a bike with double the power. So it just kind of kills the point of it. So I don't know what the sales are like on these bikes, so I'm sure time will tell, and they are very nice, but I think the licensing system has kind of put this in an awkward position on the market. This gloss green paint job that I've got the bike in here looks really lovely. It's kind of like British racing green, so I'm really a fan of that. And the paint quality does seem pretty good, so no issues there. The parts in general, the quality does seem pretty good actually. I think Herald have upped their game since we last rode one, which was back in 2020. Yeah, it is a lovely bike with some decent quality parts. Apart from that engine, a carburetor engine in the modern day, I just think it's a bit outdated. It could do with a new engine in there, something a bit more modern. The Brat 250 only weighs 147 kilograms, so it is very light, and as you can see, you can just pick it up. It's not very heavy, and you can get around the corners nice and nimbly, so the handling's pretty good, and you can just chuck it around, get off-roading. So this bike will go pretty much anywhere, not serious off-roading, doing massive jumps, but yeah, you could have a lot of fun on this bike around the corners. It's nice and nimble around town, so it's easy to get in and out in traffic, so it'd be definitely a good city bike. If you live in the city, this would be a great commuter, and if you wanted something small as a run-around bike, this could definitely be a contender. But if you didn't intend on going any green laning, maybe I would get a Royal Enfield Meteor for a little bit more money, for, 400 quid. I think I'd have the Meteor, but if you did want to do some green laning, this would definitely be a good choice. The Brat comes with Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tyres as standard. I really like these tyres. They look very cool and they are very good. Not brilliant in wet grass, but not much is. I think for dry days on the green lanes, these would be fantastic. So yeah, definitely help you towards your green laning adventures. The Speedo tells you pretty much everything that you need to know. You've got your miles per hour, a tripometer, how much fuel you've got and what gear you're in, and then it tells you the RPMs as well. So yeah, not really any complaints there. Got a 6-speed manual gearbox and the clutch is very light, so you won't have any cramp in your hands from putting that in, especially when they're nice and cold on a cold winter's day. So I think there's no denying that this bike is pretty cool. It sounds awesome. So if you're looking for a small run around on a budget, this is definitely a good bike to get. My only issue with it is the engine. As I've said, I think they need a more modern engine in there with an automatic choke, maybe a 350 with a little bit more power. That would be nice, but if you're a first-time rider, you're not really going to be too bothered about that. But if you are a little bit of a hooligan, you want to open the taps up, you might find it a little bit slow after a month or so. But yeah, this is a really nice bike, so if you are interested in it, check out Herald's website and you can see some more details on there about the bike. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It helps us out massively. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this Herald. Would you go out and buy it? Do you think it's worth upgrading from your 125? I'm not so sure. But yeah, it's a lovely bike nonetheless. And check out our t-shirt store in the carousel below. And if you want to buy us a coffee, then you can see that in the description as well. And we'll see you in the next video.